Hello, first grade scientists, and welcome back to Science with Mrs. Miller. Today in Lesson 6, we will be talking about the parts of a plant. But we won't just talk about what those parts do. We will also talk about the important jobs of the different parts of a plant. So first, let me ask you a question. What do we, you and I, as humans, what do we need to survive? Do you know? There are three things that we cannot live without: food, water, and air. Well, just like us, plants are living things that also need food, water, and air to survive. But plants don't get food in the same way that we do. Plants get their food from the sun and from the soil. And they also need water, and they also need air. Each of us as humans have special body parts that help us eat food, drink water, and breathe air. Let's think of a body part that helps us to eat food and drink water. Can you think of one body part that we use to eat food and drink water? That's right, our mouth, right? We eat and drink by using our mouth. We use our teeth to chew, and our tongue helps us to swallow. Now let's think of body parts that help us breathe air. Can you think of three body parts that help us breathe air? Go ahead and list them across your fingers if you can think of them. Say it out loud. Okay, let's see if you came up with the same three that I came up with. Well, again, we use our mouth to breathe, right? You could breathe in through your mouth and out through your mouth. We also breathe through our nose. We could breathe in and out through our nose. Go ahead and do that. And lastly, we use our lungs. Our lungs are inside of our chest. And when we breathe, our lungs fill up with air. And then when we exhale or let the air out, our lungs deflate and our lungs empty. Now, plants also have special parts that help them to survive. How many plant parts can you think of? Right now, list as many plant parts as you can think of across your fingers. You have 15 seconds to come up with as many plant parts as you can. Ready, set, go. Stop, look, and listen. All right, let's see how you did. Here are some common plant parts. Now, there are more plant parts than this, but these are the ones that are most common, that we know and talk about most often. So there's the leaf. Read it with me. First is leaf, fruit, roots, flower, and stem. Did you get them all? Did you get all 5? If you did, give yourself a pat on the back. Nice job. Now I'm going to ask you to pause the video here as you complete this sheet, this activity sheet, parts of a plant. What you'll do is you'll cut out these words and you'll paste them in the right spot to show the different parts of the plant. So let's read them together. Ready? This first word, 3, 2, 1. Leaves. Second word. 3, 2, 1. Seeds. Third word. 3, 2, 1. Stem. Fourth word. 3, 2, 1. Roots. And last but not least, let's read this one. 3, 2, 1. Flower. Very good. Okay, so this sheet, as usual, if you're learning from home, you'll find it in your Google Classroom. And if you're learning in school, your teacher will give it to you. I want you to cut out each of these words and you're going to paste them in the correct spot. And don't forget, the first thing we do is always the same. We pick up our pencil and write down our name. That's right. So pause the video here, finish this worksheet, and then I want you to come back when you're done and unpause for more learning. Welcome back, first grade scientists. How did you do with that activity? Were you able to name all of the parts of the flower, all of the parts of that plant? Nice job. Give yourself a thumbs up if you did. Okay, so now it's time for us to do a little movement activity. In the top right-hand corner of your screen, you should see a blue button. Click on that blue button to do a movement activity. You're going to want to pause the video here again, do the movement activity, and then come back for even more learning. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed that song and that movement activity. Now it's time for more learning. I had mentioned in the beginning of this video that we won't just be learning what the parts of a plant are. I bet you already knew most of them. We are also going to learn about the job of each part of the plant. So let's learn more about that in this video called The Parts of a Plant. Make sure that you do really good listening during this video because afterwards we'll be talking about it.
Plants are all around us. We can grow them in our homes, we can buy them from a store, and of course, we can see them all around outside. Today, we're going to find out more about what each of the different plant parts does. We'll find out about roots, stems, leaves, and flowers. Did you know that we eat all of the parts of a plant? We do. We eat roots, stems, leaves, and flowers. Let's first see what roots do to help their plants live. The roots of a plant act like straws by absorbing water and minerals from the soil that surrounds the plant. Tiny root hairs stick out of the root to help with absorbing water and minerals. Roots help to anchor the plant in the soil so it does not fall over. Roots also store extra food for later in case the plant needs it. How do stems help their plants live? Stems do many things. One thing stems do is support the plant and hold it upright. Stems also act like the plant's plumbing system, moving water and nutrients from the roots and food from the leaves to other plant parts. Stems can be soft and bendable, like the stem of a daisy, or woody, like the trunk of a tree. Let's find out what leaves do for their plants. Most plants make food in their leaves. Leaves are designed to capture sunlight, which the plant uses to make food through a process called photosynthesis. This is when the plant uses energy from the sunlight, carbon dioxide from the air, and water and nutrients from the soil to make food. Finally, let's find out more about flowers. Flowers are the reproductive part of most plants. Flowers attract pollinators like bees to move pollen from one plant to another. Pollination is needed for seeds to form in flowering plants. That is how the different parts of the plant work together.
right, so we learned a little bit more about the job that each part of the plant does. First, let's talk about the job of the roots. What do roots do for a plant? I want you to turn and tell the person next to you. I'll give you 15 seconds to share what you learned about what roots do for a plant. Okay, so when I say go, turn and talk to somebody near you and share everything that you remember learning about the important job of roots. Ready, set, go. One, two, three, eyes on me. So I'm wondering if you heard what I heard. When I was listening to that video, I thought it was so interesting the way that they said that the roots act like straws, sucking up water and minerals. Minerals are like food for the plant. And they also said that roots help to store food, and roots do another important job. Do you remember what it was? Yeah, the roots help to hold the plant up. It helps to hold the plant into the soil so that it doesn't fall over. So wow, those roots are really important. Next, let's talk about the jobs of the stem. What did you hear in the video about how the stems help the plant? What do stems do? Think. I'm going to set the timer again for 15 seconds. And when I say go, I want you to turn and tell somebody near you what you learned about the job of stems. Ready, set, go. One, two, three, eyes on me. All right, so let's see if you heard what I heard. I heard that the stems have a couple of different jobs. One job that the stem has is to help hold up the plant, to keep the plant upright. And another important job that stems have is to act as the plumbing of the plant. So the stems carry water and nutrients from the roots, and also the stems carry food from the leaves to other parts of the plant. Next, we'll talk about the job of leaves. What do leaves do for a plant? Think. Again, I'll give you 15 seconds to share with someone near you. Ready, set, share. What do leaves do for a plant? One, two, three, eyes on me. So the leaves have another very important job, right? Did you say that the leaves make food for the plant? That's right. Leaves use something called photosynthesis. And that's where they take energy from the sun and they turn it into food using nutrients from the soil and energy from the sun. Isn't that amazing? Wow, leaves are so important. Next, we'll talk about The job of the flower. What did you learn about the flower? How does the flower help the plant to survive? Think. And then turn and tell somebody near you. Ready, set, share. One, two, three, eyes on me. So did you say that flowers attract insects to the plants? You're right. And why is that important? We actually learned about this in another science lesson. Insects do something very important for plants. It's something that starts with a P. It's called pollination. Do you remember learning that big grown-up science word? That's right. Well, insects, such as bees, pollinate flowers, right? Do you remember how they go from flower to flower and they help to pollinate them? And then what develops in the middle of the flower or inside of a fruit? Yes, seeds develop. And so that's another part of the plant, right? Seeds. And those seeds help to create new plants. Pretty amazing. Nice job, everybody. Okay, now to keep growing our knowledge, we're going to read this book called Plants Are Alive, written by Molly Aloian. So as we're listening to this book, make sure that you're thinking, oh, what new information am I learning? What information did I already know? Maybe you knew it before we started this lesson, or maybe you just learned it from that video. And what's new to me? Let's go through the table of contents. Living things, plant parts, the roots, the stem, the leaves, the flowers, a plant's life cycle, sprout to seedling, making seeds, friendly helpers, words to know, notes from adults, and an experiment, and learn more. Living things. There are hundreds of thousands of different kinds of plants on Earth. All plants are alive. Plants are living things. Like all living things, plants need food to grow and stay alive. They make their own food from air, sunlight, water, and nutrients. Plant parts. Can you name them? Here, name them with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Leaves. Next one. 1, 2, 3. Stem. Next one. 1, 2, 3. Roots. That's right. All plants have roots, stems, and leaves. Some plants also have flowers. A flower is the part of a plant that makes seeds. Some plants make many seeds. Other plants make just one seed. The roots. A plant's roots grow under the ground and help hold the plant in the soil. Roots take in water and nutrients from the soil. The roots also store food for the plant. The stem. A plant's stem helps hold the plant upright. We remember learning that in that video, right? The stem holds the leaves upright too. Oh my goodness, is that new information? We didn't learn that the stem also holds the leaves up. But yeah, it does, and that's pretty important. The stem carries water and nutrients from the roots to the leaves and flowers. Oh, we learned that in our last in the last video. The leaves. A plant's leaves take in sunlight. The plant uses sunlight to make food. Some plants have big leaves, other plants have small leaves. Flowers. Many plants have flowers. Flowers are the parts of the plant that make seeds. Petals are the colorful leaves of a flower. A plant's life cycle. Now this should sound very familiar to you because we learned all about a plant's life cycle in an earlier science lesson. But let's read through it again because maybe we'll even grow more knowledge about a plant's life cycle. A flower on a fully grown plant can make seeds. New plants grow from seeds. The seeds of some plants drop down into the soil below. Other seeds are blown off of a flower and carried by the wind to soil in other places. Sprout to seedling. When a seed starts to grow in soil, it sprouts. First, the seed coat covering the seed breaks open. Do you remember we got to see what an actual seed coat looks like in one of our last lessons? Then a tiny root grows down into the soil. Next, a shoot grows upward toward the sunlight. It grows into a young plant called a seedling. Making seeds. As a seedling grows, it forms a leaf and flower buds. A flower bud is a flower that has not yet opened. The flower will open when the plant is ready to make seeds. Most plants need a powder called pollen from the flowers to make seeds. Friendly helpers, bees, and other insects carry pollen from flower to flower. Then the plant can make its own seeds. The plant's seeds will become new plants, and a new life cycle begins. Now, if you would like to reread this book, Plants Are Alive, on your own, you can find this book on Epic. There are also all of these other books in this series that you might enjoy, so check them out. All right, now before we go on to our next activity, let's turn ourselves into a plant again. Ready? Poof! You're a plant. We're going to go through the life cycle of a plant. Do you remember how we did this once before? Okay, well, first start out by turning yourself into a seed, and you're going to fall to the ground. Really, really tiny. You probably can't see me down here. You could go all the way down to the ground. Then you're going to grow up through the soil, grow your flower, make your seed, and drop down to the ground. Can you do it again? Okay, now let's name the parts as we grow. Ready? So we're dropping down as a seed. Then the seed's going to open up. It's going to spread its roots. And a seedling will pop up through the soil. The stem will grow. The flower will grow. And a new seed will fall. Nice job, everyone. You can sit back down. Okay, we have one more activity sheet to do. So again, this will be in your Google Classroom if you're learning from home, and if you're learning from school, your teacher will give it to you. This sheet also involves some cutting and some pasting. Let's read through it together. Functions of the parts of a plant. It says match each part of the plant to what it does. So down here at the bottom, we have some plant parts. Let's read them together. Leaf, stem, roots, petal, flower, seed. We need to cut these out and match them to the job that those plant parts do. So let's read through the different jobs. Okay, first, carries water to other parts of the plant. Can you think which plant part has that important job? I want you to call it out in 3, 2, 1. Did you say stem? If you did, you're correct. The stem carries water to other parts of the plant. Let's see if we know the other ones. Creates pollen, seeds, and fruit. What creates pollen, seeds, and fruit? Do you know? You're going to cut it out and paste it up top. Number 3, take in water and hold plant in the ground. Do you know which plant part takes in water and holds the plant in the ground? You'll paste it in the spot. Number 4 says, it may be able to make a new plant. Oh, which plant part has that important job? Number 5, attracts insects. Which plant part attracts insects? Do you remember? We learned about this from the video. I'm going to give you a hint. It's part of the flower. Call it out in 3, 2, 1. The petal. That's right. Petals are what attracts insects to the flower. Okay, last one, number 6. Takes in sunlight and makes food for the plant. What has that important job? Do you remember? Do you remember the part of the plant that uses photosynthesis to take sunlight and make food? All right, good luck with this activity sheet, everyone. Once you are finished, you can come back to this video. I want you to pause this video here, but then once you come back, if you would like, you can come back and you can press that blue button up in the top right-hand corner again, and you can do this little dance again. Can you plant a bean? Just for fun. All right, thanks for learning with me today, first grade scientists. I'll see you next time.